heaven is not just a sanctuary. It's not a place where you just come and worship. It's a seat of government where the king, lawgiver, and judge rules and reigns from.
Hey guys, Alex Newman here for the New American Magazine. I'm sitting next to an extraordinary individual. His name is Dr. John Diamond. He's got a doctorate degree in Christian education, which is one of my passions, as you all know. He is one of the big cheeses around here. He's one of the inspirations, helpers, organizers of this incredible conference that we're at, First Landing 1607. John, you also wrote some books, Appeal to Heaven. Actually, you just spoke beautifully about that. I want to get into that. But let's start with the basics. What are we even doing here?
Well, we're trying to recovenant America to God, and really, I mean, those of you who follow Alex automatically know separation of church and state is an absolute lie. It fulfilled Psalms chapter 2 when they said, "Let us cut his cords asunder." You know, so ever since the foundation of man, we've been rebelling against God, nation after nation, even the children of Israel. That's the best historical account of people continually rebelling against God and rejecting him as supreme ruler of the universe. So what I spoke about was heaven is not just a sanctuary. It's not a place where you just come and worship. It's a seat of government where the king, lawgiver, and judge rules and reigns from. And you know as well as I do, and I've read many of the Founding Fathers' writings, they spoke of the Lord as the supreme ruler of the universe, the supreme judge of the universe, the governor of the universe. They talked about him in governmental in governmental titles far more than they talked about him as Savior. And for whatever reason, we've lost that idea that he's king, lawgiver, and judge, and we focus only on Savior. And that's wrong. That's what's got us in this mess.
And so one of the things that you have really focused on, I would say specialized in, you may be one of the world's leading experts on this today, is the idea of appealing to heaven. Right. Now, our Founding Fathers understood this. In fact, earlier today at this incredible conference, we got Glenn Beck, Michelle Bachmann, Nancy Schultz, John Diamond, amazing people here. We actually pledged allegiance to the Appeal to Heaven flag of George Washington. Right. Talk about this concept of appealing to heaven. What is it? What role did it play in the founding of America?
Well, the best illustration I can give is Roe v. Wade. When I talk to pro-life groups for years, I'll be like, why do we have abortion? And they're like, well, Roe v. Wade. And I'm like, well, why didn't we appeal it? And then they just look at me, you know, like I'm stupid. And I'm like, you don't realize that heaven's a seat of government? You don't understand that there is a king, lawgiver, and a judge? There is a courtroom in heaven. There's a Supreme Court of heaven that if we don't get the answer we want, just like any judicial system, the appeals process, you keep appealing it until you get the right answer. Well, when you're only taught heaven's a sanctuary, then you don't appeal it past the Supreme Court. But when you understand there's a supreme lawgiver, a supreme judge, now you can appeal it higher. And that's why the Founding Fathers put in the Declaration of Independence, here's the 27 crimes the king is committing, and now we're appealing to the supreme judge of the universe. And that's how a nation of farmers with pitchforks took down the world's leading superpower.
It's so true. It's all right there in the text. I mean, sometimes kids even read it, and yet it just goes right over our heads. Right. And so you are calling now for us to appeal to heaven. Why do you think we need to appeal to heaven? What are some of the things that we need to ask for divine intervention on?
Yeah, well, I mean, my first book, Fighting the Next American Revolution, I studied 1760 to 1776. Just from an academic standpoint, I wasn't nothing political, and I'm like, man, the things that they did to the colonists are the same things they're doing us to now. Because people don't realize Britain had a constitution. Britain had a Bill of Rights. And the king, right, the king, the parliament, and the judges were like, we don't care, you're second-rate citizens. We can... And I think it was the Conventicles Act said, we can bind you in all cases whatsoever. In other words, whatever we tell you to do or not to do, you have to do. And Thomas Paine wrote in The Crisis, he said, if that's not slavery, slavery doesn't exist on the earth. So we're in the same place in America today, especially since the Patriot Act, where federal government thinks they can tell you, ban gas stoves, close down. I mean, they think they can bind us in all cases whatsoever. And you know as well as I do, 98% of what they're doing is beyond the authority they have in the Constitution. But they're too big, they're too powerful, they got the guns, the money, the armor, or the armies. Well, so did Pharaoh. Right?
So did the king.
So did the king in England. So, I mean, that's what my book talks about. It goes through the times in history where people, I don't care if it was slavery, I don't care if it was Martin Luther King, I don't care if it was the children of Israel and the Founding Fathers. These were all people being oppressed by people much stronger than them. And when they appealed to heaven, they won every time. And we can do the exact same thing.
Fascinating, John. You also have a show that you do. It's called America Unhinged. It's brilliant. It's on Brighteon. I'm honored to go on from time to time. You work very closely with Dr. Alan Keyes, an incredible American hero. What's the best way for people to follow your work and keep on top of what you're doing?
Well, AmericaUnhingedRadio.com is where I have my show. It's on 5 days a week. I've got people that guest host for me, so it really only takes me 3 hours a week. And fortunately, I kind of just almost got a pseudo job offer from the John Birch Society this morning, asking me if I want to come on board and be a regional coordinator. So we may be working in a lot of the same circles, but right now, AmericaUnhingedRadio.com. Is where you can find me. Download the Appeal to Heaven book. It's free. The audio book, the PDF. This is too important to monetize. All right? We're talking our lives, our fortune, our sacred honor. If we don't have the same commitment the founding fathers had, we're not going to save the nation. We can't half-heart this thing anymore.
Yes, sir. Hey, God bless you, Dr. John Diamond. Thank you so much.
God bless. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Alan Keyes. I'm the host of IMTV's daily talk show about news and events in America. And I want to say a good word for the New American magazine. Not only because Alex Newman has joined us as somebody who is periodically hosting a show, but because New American magazine represents a alternative media that is willing to tell people the truth. With so much fake news spreading about, and the fact that right now this country's in an existential crisis, we remember who we are and where we come from and what our principles are, or we die. Reading New American Magazine can keep you up to the minute on the issues that are challenging us as a people and on which that survival hangs. You can check it out and subscribe at www.thenewamerican.com.